this might have nothing to do with it, but this is the first thing that I thought of because we tried this new spot and the food was good, but while I was eating my tacos, I ended up finding two bones in the tacos, like pulled it out of my mouth, and I'm like, what is this? And it happened twice. And I thought about complaining, but I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Like, I kind of don't want to go through all of that. So we just left it. Later on, Sunday night, I started to feel like my stomach kind of hurt, and it was bothering me to the point where I wasn't really letting me go to bed. So I kind of made myself throw up, and I felt a little better. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed now. And then my stomach woke me up around like 12:40 something, and it was hurting again. And I'm like, what's happening? And I'm just laying there. And then I feel like, oh, no, I got to throw up. So I run to the bathroom. I throw up. And I'm like, oh, I hope that's it. And, like, maybe it was the tacos, food poisoning. I don't know. That was the only thing that was hurting. That was my stomach. And it was kind of just upset. So I went back to bed. And I wake up. I'm getting ready for work. Literally makeup full on, dressed, ate breakfast, had my coffee ready. I was supposed to go to Billie Eilish. I was like rocking green eyeshadow, had my Billie Eilish shoes and whatnot. And I'm grabbing my coffee and I'm walking out of the house and I hear Mr. Baby up and he's walking towards me with our baby boy Achilles. And he's like, hey, wait, before you go, he just threw up. I don't know what to do. And I see his pajamas are all full of throw up and I'm like, whoa, that's weird because he obviously didn't have what I had. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
He's not eating tacos quite yet. So I'm just
It's
like,
about time he learns.
get it together. So I grab the baby and I'm like, go grab me some pajamas so I can change him and I'll clean him up. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry. Because he's kind of like crying like, oh. And so I'm like hugging him. And then he throws up on me all over my clothes. And I look down and I'm like, I run and give Mr. Baby the baby. And I go to the restroom and I start throwing up again. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should take care of this and not go to work. So that's when I was like, I need to figure out what is going on. And I took him to the doctor and he looks fine. I haven't thrown up since then. So I don't know if it's like a stomach bug. I don't think it was food poisoning because I don't know why our baby boy was throwing up. So
you know what's funny is a total dad move. Mom's walking out the door to go to work, and he's like, hey, hold it. He's holding the baby. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do here.
Totally relatable for me, though. I would do the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Total dad move. Like, I would totally been like, hey, don't leave. We got a problem here.
It's a good thing he did that, though. If she was still had, something like going on and with your stomach, it's kind of like a pause moment. Like, you have to stop and slow down for a minute.
And he was, because I was powering through. I was like, I'll be fine. The only thing that was bothering me was like a headache. But he was like, thank God you didn't leave. I wouldn't know what to do if you were gone.
Hey, was the tacos, were they beef or fish?
They were beef. They were actually, I tried 3 different because I like trying out pastor, cabeza, and I think the other ones were birria.
Oh, yeah. You don't want any bones in there when you got meat. Like if it's fish, sometimes there's a bone in there. You're like, dang it. You know what I mean? But beef, damn.
Yeah, and my mom and Mr. Baby had the same thing, so and they weren't sick at all. So I don't know.
Weird.
Right.
So when you're at home chilling yesterday, did you watch any TV?
I watched a little bit more of Bridgerton. I'm not like halfway done or anything. I think I'm like barely in the middle of the 2nd episode, but so far like I'm so in. It's so cute. I'm like at the point where he's trying to court the daughter. Yeah, no, the sister, the younger sister. But then they're kind of having like this fighting relationship, and I'm like, stop, y'all like each other.
It's so good. We talked about this yesterday. It's so good.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, Colin, I finished it.
Good. Did you like the ending?
Yes.
My God, I cried at the ending.
No, you don't cry?
I know. I cried. I
like,
cried
what?
tears of happiness. Like it's romantic. It has like, to me, it had like the greatest like great romantic ending.
Who
we were talking
are
about.
you?
I know. That's what I was talking. Maybe my estrogen levels are too high right now. I was like,
Well, that makes me excited for the show.
I really, to me, I loved season 2 of Bridgerton a lot.
Aw.
Yeah.
Do either of you? Because I feel like I'm sipping on Bridgerton like a fine tea. I don't want to go through it too fast because it's enjoyable. But do you feel like you're missing something? because you binged the whole thing and now there's not a season 3?
No, I don't even understand sipping it. Like, I want to watch a great show. I want to dive in and watch the whole thing.
Oh,
like,
I feel like the really good ones you got to preserve a little bit, or else they're over and you got nothing to look forward to.
I feel like the really good ones you can't stop watching.
Exactly.
You know, you go and watch whenever you can.
Oh, it's frustrating because I wish I had more time to just sit there and watch it.
Yeah.
I started watching, I was telling you guys, there's a show on HBO Max. It's called Winning Time. It's about the Lakers, the Los Angeles Lakers, when they first started in 1979. And it's so fascinating, this show. The most recent episode, so the guy that owns the Los Angeles Lakers in 1979, he's like, there's no cheerleaders in the NBA. He's like, I want to do cheerleaders, but I don't want cheerleaders. I want dancers. And he creates the Laker girls. And they show his daughter, Jeannie Buss, goes to Van Nuys High School in 1979. And she is a cheerleader there and recruits the cheerleader to become the choreographer of the Lakers. And it stops and it goes, ding, first Laker girl, Paula Abdul, 1979.
Oh, that's wild.
Isn't that wild?
I don't think I knew that.
And she becomes the first Laker girl, and she starts the freaking Lakers, which starts cheerleaders in the NBA.
What?
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a pretty fascinating story.
Interesting.
And then I started watching the show yesterday called The Outlaws, and it must have just come out on Amazon Prime. And it's got, I think it's one of those English shows. Mm-hmm. It's really weird because it's got all these English shows, and it's got an actor or two that you've seen before, and I don't know where. And then it has Christopher Walken in it, and it's about these people that have all broken the law somehow, shoplifting or something. It's almost like an adult version of Breakfast Club. And they're all in this room, and they all have to do detention, but then they all have to go do public service. And it looks like comedy, and it looks like other things. Things are about to happen. I'm only one episode in. I'm only halfway through first episode, but there's funniness in it, and it has potential. And then I was telling you guys about the show called Slow Horses. I was watching on Apple TV. And then, Kyle, what did you watch?
I started watching the movie The Bubble on Netflix, and I had high hopes for it. The preview didn't look very good. I was kind of like, but it's like Judd Apatow. I think he's usually really funny. And the premise of the movie is basically like actors on the movie set during the pandemic. So you guys remember like Tom Cruise's freak out during, like, they're all in the bubble and he freaked out that someone came close to another person. So it's kind of like a spoof on what it was like for actors doing a movie during the pandemic. And there's like, it's kind of entertaining, but not great.
I saw the commercial for it.
I was kind of watching it because I had nothing else to watch.
Yeah.
So I don't think I totally recommend it, but it's not like I felt like I needed to turn it off. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I almost texted you last night on The Outlaws to get your take on it, figuring you're going to get up early this morning and watch something. And because the thing is, I saw, I don't know if I saw on my Netflix app, and I don't remember this happening. You know how it tells you what's number one in the world? Mm-hmm. It broke it down now. Now it says number one TV shows, and then it says number one movies.
Yeah, I got that too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and number one movies wasn't The Bubble. It was some random. Did you see what it was?
Blindside or something
Blindside.
like that.
Blindside.
We
Sandra
watched
Bullock.
that. It's so
I was
good.
like, how's the Blindside number one right now? And Bubble was like number 3.
The Netflix, the top 10 always confuses me on
Yeah.
Netflix. Like,
Right.
where are you getting the numbers from?
Right. But movies was The Blindside. TV shows was Bridgerton, and all the other TV shows, it was like Pieces of Her and all that stuff was
The
still.
Home Edit.
Those were all
I have watched a little bit of that. That's season 2. That's really good.
of what?
The Home Edit.
What's that?
You would not like it. You would not be into it. It's like
Oh.
a show about like 2 women who started this business and they go into the houses and organize them. And
Oh, I
like they've
love
done
that.
all these celebrity clients. Like last season, like Khloe Kardashian was on the show. This season, I've only watched a couple of episodes.
That's like,
But-
Reese Witherspoon from last year. That was
Yeah,
pretty
she
good.
was last season
I
too.
saw that.
So
I did see that.
I like that stuff. But it's like the before and afters that are fun.